Nice to see you all. And so let's just get settled. I'm going to skip quite a bit because we've missed. So we'll probably just launch straight into the teaching. Somebody has their mic on. Okay. I don't need that. It's acting very strange. Hang on one second. I've got all kinds of weird things going on. I hope it's not the new internet where I am. Okay. Um, just 1 minute, people. Thank you. Okay. So let's just get briefly settled and try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And just think we're doing this practice this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. And just breathe. Notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. And just think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we do this purification process, practice in the context of the four opponent powers. Sorry, in the context of, the four opponent powers is Vajrasattva practice. So the four opponent powers, the first one is the power of regret. An opponent being it opposes the delusions that are causing the negativity. So it's kind of like helping us. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, just regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to kind of heal ourselves. So just imagine, I mean, if this Vajrasattva is too, it's too very intricate tanka, one I have behind me. So if you are finding that a little bit too much for the mind, we can't remember it all, it's just simply enough, really. It's the energetic quality of Vajrasattva that is important for us to remember. This beautiful light body, healing light body above the crown of our head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. So just imagine Vajrasattva's there, and you can think of him as just sitting in a nice, comfortable, cross-legged position, and he's sitting on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are shaped like lotus petals, like long, sorry, yeah, lotus petals. They're kind of, lotus petals are long. They have this beautiful shape. And they're full of love and peace and compassion towards all sentient beings equally. He has a His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have this little section here on compassion. So developing compassion. And in order to do that, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm that they've caused you is going to end up as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown, and pouring into your body and filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. I feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch, the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So same, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment, bitterness, grudges, neediness, anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shiyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe, and vajrasafa samaya manupalaya, vajrasafa dina patita, dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine the Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. It's like this residue. We're sort of kind of completely getting rid of everything. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pit. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So just imagine that even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. This is this determination to not harm with our body, speech, and mind. And without this, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So at some point we have to just decide, like, what's it going to take? We just have to do it. And we think, I don't want to harm anymore. And even though we're always talking about others, the person who benefits the most, I think, ends up being us. So we're just doing this for ourselves. It's a healing for ourselves. So think of something you'd like to work on. Please always remember to rejoice in your efforts. Don't forget how amazing you all are. Incredible. And then think of something you want to continue working on, So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. And we have examples of that all the time. I mean, a very basic one is how we sometimes misinterpret emails based on what's going on in our mind at the time. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And then, so Rinpoche's Parinirvana anniversary is on the 13th, which I think is Saturday, right? So Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to say, if Zopa Rinpoche is your teacher, so when your teacher passes, on the day that they pass, it's very auspicious to make offerings to, places like Dharma centers or Kopan Monastery, things like that, even if it's only $1, $5. And I remember also Lama Zopa Rinpoche, there was a nun here in California called Pemo, and she was quite eccentric. We didn't really quite know who she was. She was extraordinary, but she had the appearance, probably Venerable Rabina's talked to you about her. She had the appearance of this old bag lady, even though she was a nun. She always carried around masses and masses of stuff. Anyway, Lama Zopa Rinpoche praised her because she only had very small amounts of money. She never had very much. But she'd always come around to do animal liberation at Rinpoche's house with a $5 note for electricity. So she was always thinking about things like this. And she would, I remember one time she was receiving, I don't know what they call it now, but it was like food stamps. And so she took me and Venerable Angie to Whole Foods, because you could use that card at Whole Foods. And she would buy offerings for animal liberation. And so she was even though she had very little, she was actually always thinking of how to offer. And then she didn't have very much, so she offered $1 to 5 different projects of Rinpoche's. And it was just the thought that was in her mind. So it was just a $1 to 5 different. So she just offered $5. So it's very, very sweet. It's not necessarily, you can offer $100,000 with the wrong motivation and you won't get the same benefit. So there's Pemo offering $1 to 5 different, with this really sincere wish in her heart to offer. So she would have probably created more merit than the person that was kind of showing off or something like that, Anyway, that's just a thought. That's one of the things you can do on Rinpoche's Parinirvana. I was going to say birthdays, not birthday. Anyway, and then for your own teachers, make a strong wish for them to live long, the ones that are alive right now. You may have many. So strong wish for them all to live long. Okay, everybody. Lots of love. And